different things. You're going to need about 4 different colors of material if you want to make it a little fancy. You're going to need some ribbon for the bridle. You're going to need some thread, some tape, pencil, a pair of scissors for cutting fabric, and a pair of scissors for cutting paper. You're going to need some buttons for the eyes. You're going to need obviously your stick or a piece of doweling, a ruler, and a couple of pictures of horses, your sewing machine, stuffing, and some yarn for the mane. I have one with them head on so that I can see there's going to be a panel going down the front, and then there's going to be another side panel on either side. Then what I did was I found a picture of a horse that I thought was beautiful, and I scaled it against 4 pieces of paper when I printed it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape all of these together. Okay, just to give you a really clear idea of what I've done, I've cut the border off a few of the sheets, and all I'm doing is I'm sticking them together like that, and then I'll tape that there. And I'm going to use this as my pattern for when I put it on top of my material. So I'm just going to flip that over and tape it on the other side. I need to get the ear pieces. I need to trace those onto a sheet of paper, so if I put it against my window, the light coming through the back of the window will actually illuminate the shape for me. I've got my picture of my horse taped straight to the window, and I've got a piece of paper that I'm putting down right over top of it. You should be able to see the outline of the ear. So that's going to be my pattern for the ear piece. Now I also have that middle piece that's going to go from the top of the ears down to the muzzle for the middle bit when you're looking at the horse, the nose. So I'm just going to trace down the middle of my horse all the way around. There we go. And then also I have a different color piece that I'm going to be putting on the muzzle, so I'm just going to mark where that is going to go. So that's going to go there. Now if you want to put nostrils in that on your horse, that's a great idea. What you're going to need to do is mark where they are. So on our horsey, here it is. And also I'm going to give mine a bit of a smile, so I'm just going to mark where the mouth is. There we go. Now if you want to mark where your eyes are, that's also a great idea. Okay, to make the middle muzzle piece, which is on our little horsies here, it's going to be this bit here. It's going to be a diamond, 1, 2, 3, 4, because my muzzle starts here. It's a different color fabric, so I'm not going to worry about it. What we do is we draw from the top of the head down here to the eye to where the muzzle meets. So you take your ruler and draw down to the eye and down to the end of the muzzle. Because don't forget, your eye is just a button, so it doesn't really matter what that looks like. And then what I'm going to do is, to finish off this as a pattern piece, I'm just going to connect these lines here. And this is going to be a fold line on the fabric. So what we'll do is we'll put this on a fold, and then you cut that, and when you open it up, there should be, theoretically, a diamond coming like that, and that will be the middle piece on my horse. Okay, the next step is to cut everything out. Now, the big horse is going to be my 2 side pieces, so I'm not going to worry about cutting the ears because we have our own pattern piece for the ears. So all I'm going to do is cut around and down. So I'm going to continue doing that, and then I'm going to cut out the ear and the muzzle piece, and then we'll move on. Don't forget to leave a seam allowance if you want it to be the exact same size as your actual cutouts. If you don't really care, I want mine to be a bit smaller actually. I'm just going to cut it on the exact lines, and then I'll sew it together including my seam allowance. Now when you're doing your ears, you're going to have an outside ear and an inside ear. The one we've already cut out is your outside ear. So all you're going to do is trace it again on your paper, and you're going to cut that twice, and then just trim down the inside one. Okay. Now you're going to need 2 horse heads themselves, 2 pieces of muzzle, 1 for either side. You're going to need 1 bit for the middle, because this is going to be on a fold, don't forget. So it's going to fit like that. So you're only going to need one of those. You're going to need 4 large earpieces. You've got 2 for the side and 2 for the side. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of the inner ear. Make markings where the eyes and the nostrils and the mouth are. You just go to your eye, you flip back your paper, and you make a mark. Flip it over, you find your eye, you make a mark. Same thing. You're going to do the same thing for the nose and the nostril.